Alright, so here we are at the third and final episode in the ramen series. In the first episode, we made stock, tare, and fried chicken oil. In the second, we made our chashu pork and ajitama eggs. Now it's time to make some noodles and throw it all together. If you like this video, give it a like and consider subscribing. I release new episodes every Wednesday. So the first thing we need is some sodium carbonate, which is the secret to making ramen noodles. What is sodium carbonate? Baked baking soda. But specifically, it's a water-soluble salt that creates a very alkaline environment, which is what gives ramen noodles its distinctive chew. On a baking sheet lined with aluminum foil, lay out about a half cup worth of baking soda and bake in an oven set to 250 degrees Fahrenheit for about an hour. The sodium carbonate will have lost around a third of its weight. Now, just a little warning, wear gloves when handling this. Because it's a heavy alkaline, it will irritate and burn your skin, especially if it's wet. But don't be too freaked out, sodium carbonate is perfectly safe to consume when added to food and cooked. We're also going to need a kitchen scale. You can do this without one, but your results will be greatly varied. We're going to be weighing things in terms of percentages, so a digital scale is key. I'm using bread flour for this as it has a much higher protein content, which will result in a springy noodle. You can use all-purpose flour, but again, your results will vary. I'm weighing out 500 grams of bread flour, which will be the number to which we calculate our percentages. We're going to be making what's referred to as a high hydration noodle, which is by far the easiest type of ramen noodle to make as it doesn't break as easy. We'll need 40% of the weight of the flour in cold water, so 200 grams. To that, we'll be adding 5 grams of kosher salt, or 1% of the weight of flour, and 5 grams of the sodium carbonate. This mixture is called konsui. Stir until everything has dissolved. Now, ramen noodles are fairly easy to make, but they do require a bit of patience in order to get the best possible result. So we'll be adding the konsui a very small amount at a time. I usually do about a tablespoon each time. You want to make sure everything is thoroughly mixed before adding more. This step takes a good 10 minutes or so, and your hand will probably cramp up like mine did, but honestly, it's worth it. Besides, no pain, no ramen gain? Never mind. You should end up with a shaggy dough that looks something like this. Most of the clumps should be pretty small. The reason we did this is to ensure all of the konsui is absorbed by the flour. Wearing gloves, gently rub the dough between your hands to further hydrate the flour. There should be no loose flour at the bottom of the bowl, and the dough should be sticky enough to hold together, but still crumble apart easily. Transfer the dough to a large zip-top bag, or if you forgot to buy some, a vacuum seal bag, and allow the dough to rest for 30 minutes. Then remove all the air from the bag and seal it tight. Or again, if you're an idiot and forgot to buy zip-top bags, I'm looking at you, Trystan, secure the bag shut using clips. Then, in the most dramatic way possible, place the bag on the floor and proceed to stomp the crap out of it. Because the dough is very dry, despite being a high hydration dough, it's near impossible to knead by hand, so this is the easiest way. Once the dough is fairly flat and combined together, allow it to rest for at least an hour. Then remove the dough from the bag and using potato or cornstarch, lightly dust a work surface. We'll be using a pasta roller for the dough, so to make your life easier, cut the dough into strips about 2/3 the width of your roller. Then using a rolling pin, roll the dough until it's just flat enough to fit through the roller at the largest setting. Feed the dough through the roller, then fold it in half and feed it through again. This technique is called laminating and will further align and strengthen the gluten. Then adjust the roller to the next widest setting, or number 2, and feed it through again. Repeat this until you've reached a desired thickness. For me, it's number 5, but you do you. Replace the roller with a spaghetti cutter and cut your dough to the length you like your noodles. Feed the dough through for a final time and gently collect the noodles in your hand. Lightly dust the noodles with starch to prevent them from sticking and bundle them up into cute little nests. They have a much better texture after drying in a sealed container in the fridge for at least 24 hours, but I've been waiting almost 3 weeks to enjoy a bowl of ramen. So, let's make some ramen. And that's it, my basic all-purpose ramen. You can modify this recipe to create a million different variations of ramen, so go nuts. But if you'll excuse me for a moment, I'm starving. The smell is amazing, and the noodles are... what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, that. If you like my channel and are interested in supporting it, you can check out my Ko-fi page. I'll leave a link in the description. Thanks for watching, and stay awesome.